Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, welcome to another episode of Blue Chocolate Radio, where we speak nothing but the truth and the whole truth to help we, the people. Yeah, that's right. Yes, indeed. That's the motto, and that's what we're sticking with, everybody. That's where we're going with this. And, I surely intend for this to be an outlet where you can come to and check out and get nothing but the raw, uncut, unadulterated truth. Because I tell you what, that's the square that I stand upon. I once read from a fortune cookie quote that says, truthful grounds are the best grounds to stand upon, which surely makes sense to me. There's plenty of analogies that we can make to reference the point or the moral thereof, because as we all know, don't nobody want to build a house of cards, or neither do you want to build a house of sand or anything that's weak and malleable. You want a strong, solid foundation, and in addition to that, seeing that you want to set such a strong foundation, everything else must follow suit. Ain't that right? Now, right now, I'm getting a little bit of outside noise because I got the door of my van ajar right now as I make this broadcast. Also, in between, I must say I apologize. Let me go ahead and do this in advance. That I sorely apologize for the certain breaks, or the, what do they call it, black space, in which you may not hear anything from me. Here a little, there a little, because I am toting a black and mild cigar, in which I don't look to be indulging in that much moving forward in regards to where I stand mentally right now and what I know I have ahead of me, the road that I have, and what's required, okay, to really complete the job and do it well. Because what I will be doing, or in fact, while I'm at it right now, speaking about the black and mild cigar smoking or weed smoking, let me go ahead and say this, brothers and sisters. And when I say brothers and sisters, let me just clarify that I'm talking to everybody. No matter what color you are, no matter what nation or tribe, respectfully, because we're all connected. We all got a lot of work to do, including myself. I believe in the universal God force. I respectfully do not subscribe to any particular religion. However, I respect all religions and members thereof that are walking a righteous path, who are upright and have nothing but good intentions day in and day out along their journey, no matter what religion you in. I'm setting the record straight, okay? Pass the word. You may not concede to what I just said, but that's all right. I believe in time. I have no doubts about anything that I'm saying, although I may be grammatically incorrect here and there, but I know where my heart is, and I know what I got my mind on. I know that we're not all perfect, but I tell you one thing: in the beginning of time, everything was made perfect. So therefore, I believe that we all have a duty, by winning the lottery of life, no matter how we got here, We are here, brothers and sisters. We are here, y'all. And since we are here to do our job, to please the Creator more so. And in doing so, I believe we have to right the wrongs of our ancestors, our forefathers, mother and father. Yes, indeed. I believe that's what we are here for. That's part of the mission. In addition to, highlighting your gift and talents. Yeah, we all have gifts. We all have talents. If the army can make you all that you can be, then listen, that universal God force, the Holy Creator, surely can do even better than the army. Respectfully, I ain't throwing no shade out there on the armed forces, because for those who know, it practically speaks for itself. For all of those, or many of those, that have come out of the armed forces and living their life. See, I don't like to make those kind of noises. And this is exactly why I understand and understand why it's, cleaning up internally is a great thing and it must be done. In addition to that is having balance, finding balance, having balance, and being, of course, and finding such to be responsible and be a man and woman of integrity. Yep. That's my that's my general consensus on the fact of the matter. So now I'm here today to express myself and my thoughts that I have been withholding for quite some time. And I must apologize because I didn't introduce myself. I have been, I guess the reason why is because I went off the notion that everybody is familiar with who I am, in which I believe a lot of people do know who I am. I see how this network is working within the matrix, and when I say matrix, there's no negative connotation that goes with it. Because the matrix, if you go ahead and look it up in your dictionary, whether it's a Webster or Oxford or Google dictionary, the matrix is a word that has been made up, right, to reflect that which goes on within the body. And everything that happens within the body is already happening externally. For those who want the frequency know just what I mean. I don't have to elaborate on that. For those that don't know, you'll get it. You'll get it surely in due time. For time and chance happen to them all. And that's written in the Bible. All right, and so let's get into it. Where I'm going to start right now. Okay, I'm going to go with this. We know that we are having, or rather experiencing, a lot of conflict, traumas out here in the world. So many things that we are going through are commonly recurring because of perpetuation by perpetrators. Now I'm talking about all the drama that we deal with as human beings here upon earth. Everything. From a low degree to a high degree. Whatever criminal acts, whatever unlawful acts, whatever wicked acts that are being enacted every day in different parts of the world, yes, has to be dealt with. it has to be dealt with. And in doing so, we have to, I believe, learn not just from a scriptorial book or that of doctrination, because believe it or not, those books that man has written, which is not a bad thing, has come from the knowledge, understanding of wisdom, of knowing nature, and that of universal law and order. This is why I'm not one of those guys who would try to be out here arguing this the laws, statutes, and commandments about this book and that book. If anything, I may contend to draw up a point in which I feel is true in my own sense of knowledge, or and in doing so, I'm expressing some cognition about the knowledge that I have received by my observances within my own life, that of others, and what I'm continuing to learn and see in nature. Because that of the old times still exists today. That which was ancient still exists today. May not be practiced traditionally by many, because the ways of this world is just on one side of the spectrum is very, to me, heinous, because I don't see an established utopia in any part of the world. And being that I said that we're here collectively together as human beings, we all connected to the earth and to the universe, we are not where we ought to be as humans, practicing proper brotherhood, sisterhood, and having the foundation of true unconditional love, to the point where, I tell you, I put it to you like this: the more that we engage, in fact, the more that we learn about such love, divinity, and everything that came from the Holy Creator, a lot of things that are of wickedness, things that are heinous, will have to leave. It's going to leave. When the sun comes up in the morning, which is ordained by the Creator, darkness has to go. That light has to come and do its job to help replenish the earth. Because without that sun, we're done. We're finished. We are finished. And so, it's going to take a good while to get there. The reason why, I believe, is because many people are still inflicted with high degrees of fear tactics and fear mongering. The whole concept of fear and the job that fear does, sadly, is just really serving to be our biggest obstruction and hindrance to bringing heaven down upon earth. Because a lot of people like to say now, you got to exercise your dark side. You can't get rid of it, this, that, and the third. Because just as the sun sets and we have the moonlight, oh, we're gonna experience some some dark side actions and thus and so. And I say, well, look here. When it comes to the nighttime, I don't look to hurt nobody. Okay? Since they want to make analogies on that and follow that, you know, the freaks come out at night, you know, and all this that goes on. Look, some things are just played with. It doesn't have to be how people make it. Which is why a lot of people get caught up with the ideal of so many things being man-made. Well, if it's man-made, then that man who made it is what? You be the judge, I guess, based on that which you feel you know. But look, not just because we feel a certain way will make what's true untrue. Do you get what I'm saying? Because a lot of people feel because of their emotions, what's being shown and what's being said is not true. And which is also being speculated because of the source that it may come from. Hence, this broadcast that's coming from me, Leo Azira. Oh, he's he don't got no college degree. He's still living in his van. He don't got no job. He don't got no woman. What kind of man of God is he? And I get it, because in my younger years, or in my years where I was, where I had been dabbling in the arena of going through the broad gate that lead to destruction, I feel the same way. In fact, I have felt that way. I was going with that notion when I was out there in the world, hearing people preach about this, that, and the third. Like, man, please. And I made my little judgments upon them. I criticized. Now look at me. I see how the tables have turned. That's how I know this thing is real. Politics surely have a part to play. Truly does. And look, man, I got so much thoughts bombarding me right now. I'm just trying to stay in line and make a point. So let me continue. Let me continue on. With everything that we're dealing with, I understand there's a yin and yang, there's bad and there's good. This is why I don't like when people like to talk about, oh, you gotta have balance. As far as I'm concerned, we are imbalanced, heavily imbalanced as a collective. Because I see more bad than good. Some people may say that, oh, that's just my own mindset. You kidding me? Are you kidding me? Learning about African people in particular, in which I am a member of, I'm a family of, the African nation. We all from the African nation. There's just been a dilution of blood, which brought about different genetics and DNA makeup, because what has been happening throughout the years, scientifically and spiritually and morally. Many things have to be challenged. I believe the answer to it is it's like there's a fight going on. So we have to fight to accentuate the positive more than the negative. And like I said, my belief on what's holding us back is the fear that we have in us. Yep, the fear that we have in us, which I believe this is where politics come into play. Because we have engaged in some things consensually and contractually. Some of them things may have been brought upon us by using fear, by those who may not even may, that has been using fear tactics and deceiving the people, which is why I say I diagnosed what has happened to the people, especially those who are in the LGBTQX community and support it. Those people have been victimized, lied to, and forcefully complied contractually and consensually to keep that engine going and alive today, which is continuing to enable the filth and degeneration of the people. A lot of people in the Hollywood world, respectfully, because they didn't have the knowledge of, which I'm speaking upon now, they didn't have it when they were going in with good intentions and with their talents and their gifts to the world that the Holy Creator gave them and us. They didn't know. They didn't know. So compromises was made. Contracts has been signed. Consensual means has been brought about. You get what I'm saying? And so now a lot of people feel that there's no way out. How can that be? You mean to tell me the things that are going on in this world are irreconcilable and irreversible? Are you kidding me? Because if those things came by a deceiver, which is of the devil, you mean to tell me that that power is more stronger than the Holy Creator? And all things has been made by the Creator, which means everything that has been created has been manipulated and made, M-A-D-E, by men and women to set their agenda. So if there was a way in, damn it, there's a way out. And for all of those that's in that Hollywood world, like I was saying, they feel like there's no way out, and they don't want to give up their cause. They worried about their reputation, losing their financial status, and dealing with the public and social media, ridiculing and trying to throw dirt on their name as if it's not being done already. Are you kidding me? Those wonderful people who's already out there, who made music, who starred in movies, who, those of poetry and everything of the wonderful arts. Such beauty that comes from within. A gift and talent given by the Creator has been compromised to continually entertain and amuse us, to distract us from the real enactments in righteousness, to bring about a utopia and to make this world a much better place. I mean, can't we see what's going on? We got songs talking about love, and we got billboards and advertisements on clothes, which is apparel, on the movies and the commercials, on the phone, this, that, and the third. I mean, it's everywhere, but we still don't have it. It's like a trick being played. And a lot of people get fed up because a lot of people don't have strong minds. And they may, but they get worn down so much by disloyalty, by deception, being heartbroken, and I mean, this is why things are beginning to crumble. And it's right in front of our faces. We act like we don't know. How did we go from having such beautiful movies, animations, cartoons, songs, love songs, and that was giving meaning and messages to what we got today? Can we see the degeneration? I mean, let's go to the political side of it. I mean, with all respect due, we got people who take an oath with their hands on the Bible to set themselves in office who are backing the LGBTQX when the Bible in itself in Levitical law speaks about the abominations of dealing with homosexuality. But now we got so-called first out. That's what I quote it. It's called first out. This and that person in Supreme Court justice now. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Come on, man. I don't get it. I truly don't get it. That's how I know a lot of people are scared. They scared. Have been lied to, more so, and victimized, more so. And while we on, as I touched on Hollywood, I would have to say this. This here is for all of those I want to know that's in the LGBTQX, and for all of those who are battling with evil spirits and evil ways. Hollywood know what's up. It's always been there. You can never get rid of the truth. It's impossible. I've once said before, and I stand behind this, that the meaning of the elephant in the room, the elephant represents truth. Because the truth is so damn large in front of our faces daily, we act like we don't see it. But it's there. Which is also written in the book when it says that the face of the Lord, the universal God force, is upon us every day. And so is the eyes of the Lord, our universal God force, is upon us every day. The eyes and the face. So, let's say a movie like The Exorcist, this is how I know Hollywood know what's up. That wonderful movie that I totally understand now represents the exorcism of such an evil spirit out of the body of those who are primarily in that LGBTQX agenda, lifestyle. Which also ties into crucifixion. Because when you're nailed, or if you're tied to a bed, like in The Exorcist, you're going through a fast also, in addition to what could be said onto you by spiritual leaders who has been given names, pastors and bishops, thus and so, is that yes, when you're nailed, And when you're tied to the bed like the exorcist, you're going through a cleansing. Minister Farrakhan said in one of his videos about crucifixion, which I have on my YouTube, he said you're there urinating and defecating on yourself. That sounds like cleansing to me. But a lot of us have fear, don't? And he said we don't even know we're crying as we're on the cross, going through crucifixion, not knowing that the Lord is working at our salvation if we could just endure with the intent, immediate intent, to rid such evil spirits. Because when you're tied to the bed, you got someone, you got your family there with you, or you got some spiritual leader there getting that evil spirit off of you, maybe giving you good clean water and herbs. You're going through a wonderful fast and detoxification to rid that off of you. Look at the movie Constantine with Keanu Reeves. There's a scene in that movie where an exorcism is being performed. Hollywood know what's up, brothers and sisters. But who was willing to engage and endure in that wonderful spiritual act to rid and cleanse ourselves of evil spirits? We've been doing so much for far lesser things that continues to bring about filth and wickedness. I don't care how nice your car is, how nice and clean your house is, your condo, whatever. That's material things. But what about what's going on internally? Huh? That's a message, man. We got work to do, y'all. We got work to do. And this is how I know, like the book says, ye shall do greater things than I. Meaning that for all of those who have been enduring in that lifestyle, when you clean up with all that knowledge that you attained from being in darkness and being in that devil's playground and arena, when you come out of that, do you know how great and powerful you are going to be? Lord knows the position that the Universal God Force will give you to be an exemplar of righteousness, a so-called leader, a pillar of a neighborhood, community, family, tribe, nation. This ain't no joke. It is not a game. We are here to do this work, y'all. Man, I believe once we all get on the same plane, oh, it's gonna be beautiful. The same accord, the same plane, however you want to put it, is gonna be beautiful. It is going to be beautiful. This is why the family structure and the family unit is very imperative. This is why it's good to have a strong family, a strong circle. This is why. It's been practiced out here for so long, but because of the prevalence of wickedness and evil, we are falling, man, we already fell short. But that don't mean that we can't rise up. For what is written is our duty. As it is in the heavens, so shall it be upon earth. And we gonna do it. The more we clean up, stop judging other people, stop trying to be so quick to judge and being prejudiced and biased. Accentuate the positive and love, and trust me, a change is gonna come. And change is happening for those who are already on the frequency. that are drawing far from those who continue to be in the devil's arena. Which is why you have confrontation in family, in neighborhoods, in communities, even in the church, in mosques, so on and so on. I'll put it to you like this. In short, to close that, the idea is to use reverse psychology. Boom, there it is. Which will encompass everything that got you into the position and the position that we are in as human beings here upon earth. The reversal will bring about the reviving of God. That's like summoning Captain Planet. If I could give a little quick analogy. Which is why I said, how do we go from having such wonderful cartoons and animes that was giving us messages, wisdom, but we just didn't see it. We was being amused and entertained. And because our hearts wasn't uncircumcised, our hearts and ears and eyes wasn't uncircumcised to that which is righteous and true, we just took it for what it was, as an entertainment, distracting us from the real message and truths, and keeping us what? Docile. The devil is a mastermind, a wonderful deceiver indeed. That's why a lot of people continue to just feel like, it is what it is. And this is the ways of the world. No, it's not. It don't have to be. Because I tell you this. This is how I know the devil is a deceiver. How can you tell a lie about anything? You know how? The only way you can tell a lie, the only way to tell a lie is to first know the truth thereof. Do you follow? Without knowing the truth, you can't deceive nobody. Because for those who know the truth, and the truth could be bad. Yeah, bad for those who are doing wickedness, because when you bring out that truth, which is like fire, the house of cards, their house of cards start to fall and crumble and decimate. Do you follow? Yep. So there's no need to second guess what's real after what I just said. There's no need. If you are second guessing what I'm saying here to be true, then you're really gone. And because of all the tricks that has been perpetuated out here, and it has been increasing, which is why so many things are complex and seemingly paradoxical, is because of the craftiness of the devil. Now I know where the wonderful sister Candy Staton came up with that song. I became a victim of yes, a wonderful song. Because it's not easy to beat that out. It's not easy to beat that crafty deceiver. It's not easy. But the knowledge is coming out more and more. And the more that we continue to practice it, we bring about a wonderful world. And that's how I know the Bible got truth. The Bible talks about fight the good fight in faith. That's right. God and fear do not occupy the same space, huh? Neither does faith and fear. That's why things seem so tricky and hard to understand and move forward. You got a notion on something that's good, go with it. We ought to pay the price for doing good. The consequences of doing good is good. You could try to put that on paper by trying to write out a mathematical equation, because math and science is paramount to everything that we're dealing with, because everything out here by the Creator is science and math. Huh? Come on now. And now, this is what I would like to close with too, as I go into this next topic. The extremes of so-called black and white people, African and European people. Being that they came from us, African people, how can we look upon them in such an evil way without looking at us first, knowing that they came from us? If they came from us, being that they did, well, they're just a representation of what we exercise, of what we practice, what we have committed, and the omissions of following God's law, statutes, and commandments. And I'm not just talking about, when I say law, statutes, and commandments, it's not just of the Bible. It have to do with everything that's out here in nature and universal law and order. I give it to you like this. Who think they can stop a woman who is 9 months pregnant from having a baby? Didn't God ordained it so? You think you can put a military in front that woman, and if the military say, "Hey, don't come out, baby, because if you come out of that womb, it's gonna be da 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 da," you think the military got the power to stop that birth? Are you kidding me? You can't stop what God has ordained. And that's just one aspect that I learned from watching the great, wonderful, lovely Dick Gregory, the Baba Dick Gregory. Rest in power, sir. I love you for everything that you did. And a man's and a woman's good ought to surely outweigh their bad, because we as a people, human beings, have dealing with this deceiver for so long. This is why we need to stop all the black and white hate. I'm not trying to justify or defend my white brothers and sisters, but I know one thing: they are surely battling a lot. They are surely battling a lot. Because if it's hard for us black people, African people, to fight such wickedness and evil spirits, with them not having as much melanin as we do and genetic makeup that we do, you know how hard it is for them to fight that spirit? I shared a video where on my YouTube where Farrakhan was talking about the enemy, in which he went into the ideology of white people. And he said in part that they don't even understand why they do what they do. And I get it. I understand, because they like, back then, it's a different town that we're living in now, is that they didn't know. They really truly didn't know what the hell was going on with them, and why they commit evil acts and why they do what they do. It's because of the spirit and the wickedness that's in them, that came from whom? Because if they're our children, just as any one of you may have kids out there, sons and daughters, they are of your body, aren't they? They came from your genetic makeup and DNA makeup. Isn't that true? Well then. So what are white people? So we got to stop with the foolishness. And also, I see why it's so hard, and I'm speaking to myself here, to be so trustworthy with our white brothers and sisters. Black people, I see it. We have to be very strong in faith and love to deal with them. We have to know law to deal with them. Because even in the Bible, it talks about the Gentiles can be saved. Yes, they can. And in that same video that I just said, that I shared with where Minister Farrakhan is talking about the enemies, which are them, in a way, yes, they are our open enemies because of what works through them that most of them don't know how to handle. And it's sad it is that way. They can be saved through the righteous African men and women to be reborn and enter the kingdom of God. Yep. And that's where we get gods and goddesses of the earth. Shout out to my 5% of nation out there that's living in righteousness and being upright. Easier said than done. Yes. But it can and it will be done. It's being done already. It's being done already. Now I can close this door. Yep. So, there's no easy way to get around this. But I know the more that we learn, because this is how I know that the white people do have power. They do have understanding and understanding of what's going on in life, because we are living in a time now where the calling has been amplified and things are just happening miraculously within the world, globally. The angels has been commissioned by the Creator, and work is being done. Work is being done. It is surely not easy because of the prevalence of filth and Satan's deception upon the world. That is not easy to break free from, but we can do it. And we have to do it, and we will do it. Take what I just said about the exorcism. That's the token right there. A lot of people feel now, and I know this for sure, that when you become of righteousness, things will be boring. You can't do this and you can't do that. Well, look, some things just has to be omitted in order for righteousness to continually stand, which integrity comes into play. You follow? Yeah. Because I know there's white people out there who do farming. They live in good, clean lives. Cleanliness is surely close to godliness. Because they are white people who are very clean. They are men and women of integrity. They are dignified. And I give them their respects. Because like I said, it's not easy to fight that spirit. And this mainly goes out to my brothers and sisters in the ghetto hood. You know how hard it is to keep your house and your surrounding clean. Look at where we live. You may have a clean house, but then when you come out to these streets, we know what time it is. We know the prevalence that's out here. That's why I also drew up a comparison about house life versus the street life. Because parents sacrificing themselves, taking risks to feed their families and to teach them right from wrong. Blood, sweat, and tears is going in to be supportive, to be protectors and providers of the family. But then what happens? You could teach your child whatever it is you would like to teach them. And it is some great things we are instilling in our kids. But when they come out to the prevalence of this world here out in the streets, what happens? It's hard to deal with the peer pressure because they may not have been reared correctly and fortified in the knowledge thereof. Even the Bible says, train up your child in the way so when they grow they shall not depart. That's the challenge when you come out here to the world. This is why having strong communities, upbringing is very important. Going right back to the family unit and having a strong circle to remain, to keep the integrities going, to keep everything intact, for everything to remain just. Because after we're gone, will those integrities of what you fought for and died for, will it be compromised? And here comes our kids, our descendants, succumbing to the streets, succumbing to the ways of the world, where what you fought for and died for becomes null and void because the integrities have been compromised by the ways of this world. Do you follow? So it ain't easy. But that don't mean it have to be so hard. Because when you got love and you accentuating love and you got a strong family and circle and supporters, oh yes, y'all gonna keep each other in remembrance, which is spoken about in the Bible too. Keep each other in remembrance of these things that ye shall not depart from. Do you follow? Now I'm sure, as I know, when I sit down and I put pen to paper, and I can take my time and write things out, mathematically, it'll be much more effective. So I understand the art of writing. But here comes a little complexity with that too. For instance, me and other African men and women, brothers and sisters, who are here in America, who speak this Germanic tongue, being of the English language, which is a translation, which comes as a translation, and many translations thereof, of the way that the Holy Creator has been speaking to us and continue to speak to us through nature. And this is how I know every white person that we talk about is not evil. For we all have our challenges. Because they know law, they know they study the universe. Now some of them can be studying the universe to continue to perpetuate the nonsense that's taking place. And I'm sure that's out there too. Because if I know it's out there, because if it wasn't, we would have a better world here and now. However, that thereafter that the Bible is talking about, the thereafter is after our crucifixion. The thereafter is after our exorcism. Establishing heaven on earth. And enjoying the fruits thereof and the abundance of everything thereof. That the Creator has created and put here. And as that ambulance just goes by, I would like to say this in closing. This is how I take a look at the ambulance. Whenever we hear an ambulance siren, we get alarmed. A bell rings off in our head that there's danger happening somewhere. Everything that happens in the physical has already taken place and is continuing to take place within the spiritual. So do we hear them sirens, which is a commission of God's angels coming to a place to save and bring, assistance and security to the people who are harmed out here in the world? Do you follow? Because that's them guys in that trucks is not on their way to a restaurant. And if they are, and if they just using it to be using it, that's wicked. The universal God force, the Holy Creator, doesn't work like that. Do remember that the devil has taken everything that the Creator has made and perversed it. That's why things in this world seem so perplexing and introverted. Not introverted, I'm sorry. That's not the word I'm looking for. Inverted. Yes. Inverted. Do you follow? So in my righteous mind, about when I hear and see an ambulance truck with drivers who got knowledge about the human anatomy, I see that like, yo, my thing is like, wow, look how God works, man. A lot of us, with them ears being uncircumcised, we wouldn't know. That's the same way that God sends us messages. For us to receive the help that's on its way. Yep. So I got more work to do, and so do you. We got a lot of cleaning up to do. Take back our rights as human beings. Don't worry, those who are looking to be set free from the wickedness and the evil spirits dealing with the LGBTQX, especially. Don't worry about what can be taken from you monetarily. Let that be. Listen, I would rather, in which it has already happened, I would rather you take my job from me. I would rather you take this house, this car from me. But what you won't take is my soul. What you won't take is my dignity. And that who I am as a man of God. And to my sisters out there, a woman of God. Can't take that. Because if you let them take that, that's it. It'll be more of a struggle and a fight to get that back, but it can be reclaimed. Reclamation is surely a true thing. And in reclamation, you then have what? Repatriation. I'm not dealing with, okay, I'm going to go ahead and use that too. Let's make it a trilogy. Reparations. Root word of reparations is repair. Reparations, reclamation. What we got? We got reparations, reclamation, and also, man, there's so many that we can use, man. Now I got more coming to me. Restitution. I got, oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh, this is beautiful. Sometimes when you get in the moment, just so many things hits you. Reviving, replenishing. So many words that we can use with the R, with the letter R, that could bring us back into holiness, righteousness. There goes another word. With, oh man. Oh yes, it's more than a trilogy, I guess. But I'm sure you get me on that. So thank you so much for tuning in, brothers and sisters. We got work to do, and I'm going to see y'all all out there in them streets. Please spread the word. I love y'all. This has been another episode of Blue Chocolate Radio with your host, Leo Azira. Thank you so much for your time. Peace, love, and light. Amen. Ashe.